Hello, Mikel. Nice to see you. I was just going to ask you really about the sharp improvement in terms of results and performance is so noticeable, and also the togetherness amongst the players. You could really sense that after the game on Sunday, particularly, couldn't you? What's been the biggest change in these last few months that you've noticed? Is it a big change in culture, togetherness? What's different for you?
Unity is everybody aligned with the same purpose, with the same determination, and with the same level of passion to achieve what we want to do, accepting that we are not there yet, but that we want to get to the top very quickly. And in order to do that, we have to do it together. We don't have any single player, any single member in the organization that can do it individually or himself. So it has to be a collective drive that has to give us that extra. And one of those main factors for me has been the Emirates and our supporters, how much they are giving to the team. And that extra, it's difficult to put a number on it, but I'm telling you, it's been one of the biggest parts.
Was it always going to take time just to kind of instill, I don't know, a different mentality, but also a different spirit within the group and the radiates?
I think that was very much related to the people that we had and how consistent we're going to be with the people, with the amount of changes that we've been through. To restart every single process, every time you are making changes, obviously delays any clear and obvious change immediately, because suddenly you are making another 6 or 8 or 10 changes, and that takes a little bit of time. But hopefully once you have installed those habits, which at the end become behaviors and becomes in better performances, the one that comes across after, or the new players or the new staff that they come, they just follow that path and becomes much easier and quicker that period.
You've had some super performances against traditional Big Six rivals, haven't you? But maybe not always had the results against the top 4 immediately. How big a moment would it be to kind of make a statement with that sort of result? How much in confidence?
It would be another click and another boost in terms of confidence, but as well in terms of the position that we will be finding ourselves, because beating Liverpool the way they are playing today, it is extremely difficult, and we are aware of that. But we get to the game with the belief and understanding that doing what we can do, the game is there for the taking.
Martin Odegaard has been so great for you in the last few weeks. There was clear interest, I think, in the past from Liverpool. In the summer, when you had to convince him to come here permanently after such a good loan spell last year, was that an easy conversation? What sort of guy is he, and how much of a difference is he making?
Well, it was easy to make the decision to try to get Martin permanently at the club, because obviously we had the long periods that we used to understand. First, understand the human being, how he was as a person, the issues that he had in the past, for him to understand what we were looking to get from him. And once you put all that in the table, it was easy for us to say that he could be a player that could make differences for us.
Sam?
Taking you back to when you first arrived here, 2019, when you had a vision for how you wanted this team to play and evolve, how close are they now to doing that, to fulfilling that?
Still far. Yeah.
What needs to happen still?
We have to make things quicker, sharper. We can be more adaptable. We can be much more unpredictable. We can have much more flexibility, and we can be much more consistent throughout games to maintain that level.
Do you feel you're closer now than you have been at any other?
I think that we are much closer than we were, and probably the closest that we've been in terms of what we are looking for. But I focus on that gap, and that gap is still big.
Yeah. When you look at the shape now, whether it's a 4-3-3 or a diamond or whatever you want to call it, it's quite similar to how Pep played at City and how Barcelona historically played. Is that a compliment when you think people say you're like Man City now? Is that what you want?
We are not like Man City. I was educated in that system since I was 14, 15 years old. So I probably understand all the mechanics and adaptability, vulnerabilities, strengths and weaknesses of that formation better than I do with any other. But it depends, it's not what you want to do, it's what you can do. Because it's not what you want, It's who can do it and who can deliver it. And if you are too stubborn to try to force something that some players cannot do because it doesn't feel the qualities, I don't think you will get it. The moment that you start to have the specificity, the qualities, the people who can understand and make decisions like you want, then everything starts to flow, which is the natural thing to happen.
I think it's fair to say that over the last 4 or 5 years, Arsenal have been quite a dramatic club. Things have been, I think you know what I mean, things have been happening behind the scenes, on the pitch, players, high-profile things. The last few months, it feels quite calm, apart from maybe the Aubameyang situation. But aside from that, it feels quite calm. Do you get that same impression?
I hate that feeling of feeling sorry for ourselves, that, oh, this is happening to us again. No, it doesn't happen to us. A lot of things happen, and when they happen, we have to find the reason why it happens. And if we don't want it happening again, we have to do something about it, because if we keep doing the same thing, I'm expecting the same thing or worse to happen, because we already have a history. So we have less margins to suffer because we already been there. So we have to change that dynamic completely and look about what we can become and how we're going to do it, and put the effort and the energy there, and the rest will take care of himself.
And the foundations that you have now, and you certainly mentioned to John, the impression I get from looking from the outside is, if you were to lose tomorrow night to Liverpool, it wouldn't derail this team or throw them off like it might have done 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Do you think that's fair?
I don't know. I don't want to think about that possibility.
Thanks, Sam. That was for 10:30 tonight.